the Tigers, standing at about midfield. Cheshire gets it out. It's a wobbly low one taken at the 45, across the 40 to the 35, in great field position for the Tigers. Seeger's brought down at about the 34-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And Jack Albers, the senior, 6'1", 175-pounder, 14 of 17 last week for 282 and a couple of long touchdowns. He sends Cameron Garrett to the left, along with Ben Mueller in the slot that way, and Will Crum is wide to the right. Trenton Zoller is the H-back, and Anthony Moretti, the junior, gets the start at running back. Albers takes a snap. Here's Moretti, off tackle, not much there. Hit by a swarm of Bulldogs, fights his way. Boy, that's an early whistle because he's still going forward. Got to about the 31, but they're going to spot it at the 33. And I'm not sure why that whistle was blown, Tony, because that offensive line was pushing people.
They were. The play hadn't, you're correct, they were moving forward. But just a straight handoff there on 1st down, and Male does a pretty nice job of stacking the inside.
Bulldogs traditionally have had a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. They've only got 7 up there right now. Option left. In trouble is Moretti in the backfield at the 40. And hit for a loss back at the 37-yard line, a loss of 4. And that play was doomed from the beginning.
Well, 3 plays by the Bulldogs. The Tigers take them 3 and out, and now a handoff up the middle for just about 1 and a loss of about 5 yards on that play. So both offenses starting slowly.
3rd down, 13. Moretti will come to the sideline. Will Ginter comes in. So 4 receivers, empty backfield. Zoller is in there at H-back. The Tigers look to the sideline for the play. You would think if you get about 8 or 10 here, you're going to go on 4th down. Instead, Albers wants it all. He's got it at the 25, right on the sideline. It's Will Crum. Got separation from the defender. Jack Lucas, the safety, and Crum found the sticks. No, he is short. 4th and less than a yard here.
Well, John, it's a 1st down. I thought for sure it was a 1st down there. The referee over on the side marking the ball.
Ball's at the 24, and that's the yard line they needed to get to. They needed 13, got 13. 1st down, Tigers. Albers with 2 H-backs this time. Give it to Moretti. Off tackle right. He's down short of the 20, about the 22. We'll give him a couple. Anthony lowered his shoulder that time. I think if he stays upright a little more, he might be able to make a move. Dallas Douglas came in to make the tackle. 3rd leading tackler for the Bulldogs, 50 on the season. 2nd and 8. Ball at the Male 22. In motion from left to right goes Garrett. Puts 3 receivers on that side. They give it to Moretti. Off tackle, not much there. Brought down after a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 again. That offensive line, Male doing a good job right now. Again, the Bulldogs only give up 11 points a game. Clayton 6 is the center. Tigers have Wyatt Smock and Aaron Curley to his left. Nick Kennedy and Chase Ferris to his right. It's 3rd and 7 from the 21.
Male's coming with the blitz, John. They showed it, and they did not change it up.
3 receivers. Moretti still in there. They fake it to Moretti. Throw over the middle. Caught. 1st down, Tigers down at the 11. That was a missile. And Ben Mueller comes up with it. Nothing to do defensively against that, Tony. That was on the money.
Well, Mueller's in the slot, and he runs a quick slant. And Jack Albers right on the money on his first 2, just picking up where he left off last week. Tigers going quickly.
1st down, Tigers in the green zone. Hand off Moretti. Off tackle inside the 10 and then push back. They'll give him the 10 and no more. Gain of a yard. They're trying to run off the right side of that offensive line, Tony. There's just not been much there yet.
Well, I think, we always talk about the motion, and the motion's what's going to free it. Male is stacking the box, John, and 2 great passes by Albers, but Male has their linebackers are starting back, but they're coming up almost every play, and that slant is the play you can kill them with.
2nd and 9, ball at the 10. Play action. Out of the backfield is Zoller. He's got the catch at the 6, tackled at the 4. Good open field tackle that time. Jacoby Warfield, the corner. But it's a gain of 6. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Tigers at the 4.
Well, the Tigers make it look like they're going to the right side, and then Albers, he bootlegs back out, and his H-back just drops out of the backfield. So Tigers with the ball on the 4-yard line trying to knock it in early.
Mueller and Crum to the right, Allgaier to the left. He'll probably go in motion. He does. Albers keeps it up the middle, fights his way near the goal line. He's got the first down. Did he get in? They're going to say he's short, but he's got the first down inside the 1, just short of the goal line. It'll be first and goal Tigers. This trip into the green zone brought to you by Dr. Brennan Green and the Eye Care Institute.
Well, Albers fakes it, Allgaier in motion, and then goes right up the back of the offensive line. Now Tigers in a quick, tight huddle, and you expect Albers to go in their center here.
He does. He's got Allgaier and Zoller behind him. Crum in motion. They give it to Dominic up the middle. Well, he only had a foot to go. And they're going to say he didn't get it. It'll be second and goal.
Well, John, you're going to see a quarterback sneak on this play. They're going to go the same formation, run the motion, and Jack Albers is just going to try to push Clayton 6 and take Canaday and Smock and just try to run up the male defense. I guarantee he takes one step towards Wyatt Smock when he does this.
Varga and Zoller are in there as extra blockers. And
but they go shotgun.
They go shotgun. Allgaier in the backfield. Second and goal inside the 1 for the Tigers. Here's Allgaier. No, Albers keeps it and he walks in. Great play fake. Everybody bid, including me. And Jack Albers walks around the left end for the touchdown, St. X Tigers.
Well, Jack Albers leads that drive. He hits the big passes on third down. And then the Tigers get inside the 5-yard line, and a great fake, like you said, sticks it in the belly of Allgaier, and then he just walks into the side. No Bulldogs within 5 yards of him.
Officially a 1-yard run for Jack Albers, and Alamatija will try the extra point. Jude Carlin will hold it. And Doug Schaffner, the long snapper. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and through. 7-0 Tigers. 5:54 to go first quarter. You're watching on Live Sportscaster, and you're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
I need something.
Want to learn more about how your eyes work?
Standby generators and offer 24-hour emergency service even if you're not in Oldham County. Trust me, don't mess with electrical work. Contact Oldham County Electric 502-310-1462 or oldhamcountyelectric.com.
Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. Kickoff taken by Ethan Bibb. He's out to the 30. Mail will start there after the Tigers scored on their opening drive. Jim Brinkman, impressive drive, 2 big, long third down conversions.
Right. When you're talking about Will Crum being 6'4" and Jacoby Warfield being 5'8", that third down pass to him out wide, definitely Tigers have the advantage early.
So Cheshire's in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Takes a snap, wants to throw high and deep down the right side, and he's overshot his man, looking for Ethan Bibb. About 5 yards past he and Jake Netherton. It'll be 2nd and 10. And that time Cheshire didn't even take a step back, Tony. That wasn't a 3-step drop. That was a no-step drop. Just throw it up for Ethan Bibb.
Well, he didn't give Bibb an opportunity to actually go catch the ball. 40 catches for Bibb this year for 624. And he's a guy that the Tigers have to know where he's at all times. And right there, not bad coverage, but you can't let him get behind you.
Borman and Jude Carlin are the safeties. Netherton and Harrison Pate are the cornerbacks. 2nd and 10. They'll hand it off this time, running left. Not much there, and Andrew Ewells will get the tackle, but Nolan Bruner was in the backfield along with Schaefer. And they met Henry Vestal, the leading rusher for the Bulldogs, in the backfield. He got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a half yard. It's 3rd and long.
And Vestal's a guy that comes in getting over 800 yards for the year, averaging 101 yards per game, and Tigers doing an excellent job of pushing that offensive line back and stacking that right side of the defensive male offense left side.
3rd down and 9. If I didn't mention it, O'Day and Walker are the outside linebackers. Empty backfield for Cheshire. He's got 2 receivers each way. Now a man in motion. They play action to Bibb, throw over the middle. It's caught, dropped short of the first down marker by about a yard. They threw it to the tight end out of the slot there, Garrett Dennis. Actually, he's listed as a wide receiver. 4th down and a yard to go in punt formation, but remember, it's Cheshire.
That's who you just took the words out of my mouth. You have to be alert if you're the Tigers, knowing that their quarterback is, but he is 10, 12 yards off the line of scrimmage, so Mel will not go for it and kick it away.
If you're the Tigers, you don't really go after this punt. You just make sure he doesn't pull it down and do anything, and a whistle.
Counting how many people are out there, and I don't think the referee
counted
counts
11
very well.
for the Tigers. I did not count the Bulldogs.
You know, sometimes that new Chisholm bop doesn't work.
Oh, goodness. So it's a do-over. Actually, it's not a do-over because they never snapped it, but we'll restart the play clock here.
He's up tight, John. He's not back as far as he normally is.
He's about 9 yards. I think he's going to back up. He hasn't yet. He does not. It's a fake. They're running it to the right, and it is a first down for the Bulldogs. Barely. Had to get to the 40. Getting just across the 40 was Garrett Dennis. And, you got to see that coming, Tony.
Well, John, we could see it coming. I told you that Cheshire was 12 yards back before they threw the flag, and he moved up 3 yards. So you had to figure something was on unless he was going to pooch it, and I can't believe he was going to pooch it for there. Tigers had 2 guys deep to receive the kick. Should have had 1 guy back up and 10 guys playing the run right there. But Mel gets the first down out across the Tiger 40.
7-0.
Their own 40.
Tigers lead it. 3:52 to go here in the first quarter. So Male's offense trots back out on the field. Cam Cheshire will have a 1st and 10 just outside his own 40. And now another whistle. I think a timeout called by Chris Wolf and the Bulldogs. You know, the punt team went off the field. It took them a long time for the offense to get on the field. Then they huddled. Then they went to the line of scrimmage, and I believe Chris Wolf was running out of time there.
Yeah, that's a mistake by the Bulldogs. You have a little momentum coming out of the 4th down fake, and you get the first down, and then you're not ready to run a play. So I think both teams did a bad job on the last play because Tigers weren't ready on the outside here for that option play. They only had 1 or 2 guys out there. Everybody was stacked in the middle. And then the Bulldogs come out, and they're going to have to go use 1 timeout here. So 3:35 left in the first quarter. Tigers lead early, 7-0 over the Male Bulldogs. And we are not at Male High School on the dirt campus.
No, we are not. We are at the first of what we hope will be 7 consecutive home games here at Brother Thomas More Stadium. 1st and 10, Male at their own 40. 3 receivers in the pattern. Now Bibb goes in motion from right to left. Instead, they give it up the middle to Dennis. He's got a first down and more. And finally, slowed down and brought down by Netherton. O'Day was out back there as well, but a big gain right up the gut. They faked it to Bibb on the jet sweep, gave it to Garrett Dennis, and he got 20 yards to the 39 of the Tigers.
Well, the linebackers played they did not play that very well, that play. And then the safety, I believe it was Carlin, got screened by the referee trying to come up and make the tackle. So momentum's changed a little bit on that fake punt. Now Bulldogs had the ball in Tiger territory at the Tiger 39-yard line.
2 receivers go to the left. Tyler Ritchie the widest, 1 to the right on 1st and 10. Pistol formation here. Cheshire takes a snap. Play action. Wants to throw it over the middle. It's behind Dennis. Doug Schaffner was in the coverage. And that was closer to Schaffner, I think. Garrett Dennis had no chance to reach back. He would have had to pull his shoulder out of socket to haul that one in.
Really bad pass by Cheshire. Actually, he was behind the linebackers, probably about 3 yards behind the linebackers. Safeties were deep, and that should have been a big play for the Bulldogs.
2nd and 10 and a whistle. Looks like an equipment issue here for the Bulldogs. Garrett Dennis, I think maybe there's some blood on the arm there. They're sending him off. That's exactly what it is. I can see it with the binoculars. And so he'll have to get some gauze and some tape over there to close that off.
And I'm telling you, John, that should have been a big play for the Bulldogs. And fortunately for the Tigers, it was an incomplete pass. So 2:54 left here, first quarter. Tigers lead early, 7-0 over the Bulldogs from Male. But Male does have the ball at the Tiger 39-yard line.
Bryson Rogers replaces Dennis, and he's one of 3 receivers to the left. They throw it to Bibb at the 40, cuts inside to the 35 and hauled down at the 34-yard line. Gain of about 5 will bring up a 3rd and 5. Tigers gang tackling Ethan Bibb, and that's what you got to do. You don't want to let him get loose.
Well, that's that quick one step back, get it out to the receiver, coming more to the inside. He did not stay outside. He kind of came in as the pass came to the ball to catch it, and Tigers do a pretty good job. So now you're looking at 3rd and 5 at the 34-yard line of the Tigers. Bulldogs trying to get a first down. Tigers trying to get a stop.
Bibb goes wide to the left, along with 3 other receivers. That's the short side of the field, and there's 1 receiver alone to the right. Man in motion, quick throw to the left. It's Bibb, and he is hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage, behind the line, actually. Harrison Pate came up from his corner spot, avoided the block, and it's a loss of a yard back to the 35. Will bring up 4th and 6. Bulldogs in that area where you just go for it here.
Yeah, and a great job by Evan Walker. He was the outside linebacker, took on 2 blockers, and that freed Pate to come up from his cornerback spot and make the tackle.
Quick moving first quarter. We're under a minute 40 now.
2 high-scoring teams here, too.
And a timeout by Chris Wolf. He's going to think things over here, and that's a second timeout of this quarter for the male Bulldogs. So I don't know if Chris Wolf thinks this is a really important play, Tony, or if Bulldogs were confused. Jim Brinkman, it looks like the student section finally started to pick up down here for the Tigers.
Yeah, they're down there cheering. It's a pretty good crowd. You know, when you're away for 4 or 5 weeks, like we've been, you kind of get out of the habit, and then you're always faced with U of L has their scrimmage tonight, and then of course the Halloween.
The zoo, the dreaded zoo. I hear you, Jimmy. Good mood down there on the Tiger sideline?
Yeah, pretty good on that 4th down play. They were kind of, encouraging them not to jump off sides, and I think they just gave up 2 yards and got the first down on it. They've been yelling it. Pretty good news, like you said, with Ryan Dobson with the kneecap. They're waiting on to do therapy for a little bit, but he should probably only miss 2 to 3 weeks. And he's pretty anxious to get back out there.
Mills in punt formation, and Cheshire will take it down, and he will kick it high, and it will be short, and it will bounce at about the 17, rolls inside the 15, down to about the 12, maybe the 11, and that's where the Bulldogs will down it. Surprised, Tony?
Well, after a timeout, I'm really surprised. Maybe what they thought they were going to run didn't look right. I don't know, but Tigers will take over. Hey, I just want to give one shout-out to Joe Burns, class of 1985. They've down with buddies down at Rough River, listening and watching the game, I believe. So,
Burnsy.
Say hello to the guys down there having a guys' weekend, but listening to the Tigers.
And it was my mistake on Ryan Dobson. I said it was an elbow. It was a kneecap.
Yeah,
it was a dislocated kneecap. They put it back in place on the field last week, but they don't expect him to miss more than a couple weeks. Albers on the keeper, gets out to the 15, and he is drilled after a gain of 4 yards, and they ran that option again this time, Tony, but Jack kept it. Good decision.
It was a good decision. They're running it. He's looking around, and then he cuts inside about where the tackle is, where Ferris is, and cuts upfield.
7-0 Tigers lead it with a minute to go here in the first quarter. Albers in the shotgun. He's got Moretti back there with him. 3 receivers. Give it to Anthony, and no, he keeps it. Great fake again. This time he will only get a yard. Staying home this time was Davion Higgs, the running back / linebacker, the senior. So it's a gain. We'll give him 2 to the 17-yard line and bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers.
And it looked like it was there, but you're right. He did a great job on the outside to make Albers come in. They just kind of hand fought, and now the Tigers are looking at about 3rd and a long 4, maybe 5. I'd say 4. 3rd and 4 Tigers.
2 to the right, make it 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Empty backfield. Tigers look to the sideline for the play. Zoller is in at H-back. Bryson Harkins is wide to the left. Seeger, Johnston, and Coleman to the right. Could have run it and almost threw an interception at Albers. Tried to lob it to Harkins, and he's lucky to get that one back. Jacoby Warfield had his eyes on about a 15 or 20-yard touchdown return.
Well, a really bad decision by Jack Albers, because you're right, John. He tucks it. He's got those yards, and like you said, he tries to put a little touch on the ball, and boy, that's a scary play if you're a Tiger. 5 seconds left, and Kyle Nally on the field.
Bibb and Dennis go deep. They're in St. X territory. Good snap. Nally boots it out of there, and it's a high boomer. Chases Bibb back to the 45. He muffs it, and the Tigers have it. Went right through his hands, rolled forward on the turf, And Connor O'Day, I believe, came up with a fumble. Into the first quarter, Tigers in male territory. When we come back, 7-0 St. X. There is a flag. We'll keep it right here.
And, John, an interesting flag right by where the ball came out, and there wasn't any interference. I think the referee might have thrown his flag on the
instead
fumble.
of his beanbag?
Yeah, and we'll see here.
Well, it's a block in the back on Male. Well, you decline that and you take the football. So the first quarter is over, I believe. Let's see if there's another play run here. We got into this situation last week where they ran a play and we were at break, and, we hate that.
It's going to
be an untimed down, so we'll stay right here. Tigers will have it at the Male. The chain gang's going the other way. They better come back.
And you know my philosophy here, John. After a turnover right there,
go for the jugular.
Take one shot right here. You go with play action that worked really well against Manual last week, and I would tuck it in there and look for one of those guys running a seam pass down the field. So we'll see what the Tigers decide on a timed. No time on the clock to end the first quarter. Tigers have the ball at the Bulldog 41-yard line after the drop punt, and the Tigers recover. That's going to be the end of the first half. That's what I thought.
Into the quarter, 7-0 Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Give Andy the headphones. Andy. Yeah, it's going to be quick.
Oh, I got you. Well, when I was, I thought.
Quickly joined by Andy Schulten, head coach of the St. X soccer team. Big win last night over Collegiate in the district final.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very, very exciting. It's always a tough match playing those guys, and our guys were really primed. We've had a good year this year, and we're rolling into the tournament on a high note right now.
I know you want some fans out here Tuesday. You got St. Francis right here.
St. Francis
first
here,
round of the region. If you win that, you play at Cal on Thursday, probably against Trinity, right?
Maybe against Cal, but probably against Trinity. Rematch of our tie from a couple of weeks ago. Heck of a match. We started out strong. They finished strong. So we'll see.
Do me a favor. Beat Trinity, and then we'll have you on next Friday.
That sounds real good.
Andy Schultz, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. And a fumble on the first down, and the Male Bulldogs take over. And Tony Burke, you said go for the jugular, and the Tigers turn it over on the first play after the turnover.
Well, they were faking it up the middle, and I think it was going to be a pass, but Albert's never had the football, drops it on the ground, and that's the last time Andy Schulten comes in between the first and second quarter for one play, and it's a fumble by the Tigers. Now the Bulldogs will take over at their own 44-yard line, so Tigers give the gift right back to the Bulldogs.
So they exchange turnovers on back-to-back plays, and Cam Cheshire brings his team to the line of scrimmage, which is their own 44. 1st and 10. Tigers lead at 7-0. Bibb in motion from right to left. Now he'll stop in the slot. 2 that way, 1 to the right. Dennis is a setback. He stays in to block. Quick throw to the left, tipped and incomplete. Intended for Bibb. And that is James Shepard, who is in at linebacker, Tony. Will Wolford told me off the air, Shepard, who had been a cornerback all year, they're going to move him to linebacker and use his athleticism a little more, and we saw it right there.
He did, and actually the Bulldogs were behind him, but at about 6'2", or what Shepard is, they tried to toss a lob pass over him like in basketball, and he knocks it away.
2nd and 10. Sophomore Cummings goes wide to the right. Isaiah Cummings, tight end that way as well, and 2 receivers to the left. Now the tight end just hopping around over there on the right side. In motion out of the backfield. And it's a quarterback draw for Cheshire. Makes one man miss, gets to midfield, and follows his way forward to the 49, a gain of 7 before he is hauled down there. Deemer on the tackle. Cameron Sams was there as well. It's 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs at the Tiger 49.
And Richard Bascom, the junior, in the game playing the down lineman. Actually, just saw it too late. They went right by him.
3rd and 3, 3 receivers left. And it's a handoff up the middle, and it's going to not be enough for a first down. A gain of 2, or maybe a yard and a half, needing 3. That was Henry Vestal, the leading rusher for the Bulldogs, and it'll bring up 4th down. Well, you got 3 options here, Tony. You go, you fake it, or you punt. Cheshire actually comes off the field now.
So this makes you think they're going to some type of wildcat here. Deemer and Shugart on that play.
And Garrett Dennis will line up in what amounts to the wildcat formation. Sends Bibb in motion, fakes it to him, gives it to the second man through, hit at the line of scrimmage, and fights forward for the first down. Boy, he was hit right at the line of scrimmage, but kept the wheels churning. Got inside the 45, and it'll be a first down for the Bulldogs. They faked the jet sweep to Bibb again that time, gave it to Davion Higgs. And it's a first down for Mail at the Tiger 44.
Yeah, the Tigers did a good job of defending it straight up. Like you said, it was hit at the line of scrimmage, but a nice job by the Bulldogs to get the first down at the Tiger 44.
10:20 to go first half. 7-0, St. X leads it. 4 receivers and an empty backfield for Cheshire. Man in motion from right to left, and Cheshire keeps it up the middle, and he is hauled down. Evan Walker came flying across from his outside linebacker spot right at the 40. Hit Cheshire. He got to the 39. It's a gain of 4. Make it 5. And bring up 2nd and 5.
And what the Bulldogs are doing is they're running the motion and showing that handoff and freezing the Tiger linebackers and then getting 5 yards on that play. 4 or 5. We'll give them. Scoreboard says 4. I'll say 5.
Cummings goes wide to the right. Bibb and Dennis to the left, along with Vestal. An empty backfield again, and Cheshire is sort of walking over toward Chris Wolf, and they will use their 3rd and final timeout. We'll take one as well with 9:34 to go in the half. 7-0 Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Terry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? DFH Heating and Cooling. That's the Don F. Hinkebine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkebines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers. Heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. on 7.
Right down the field and score.
These broadcasts are just an example of the fast market.
Should have it. Oh, man.
Make up play.
Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. Well, on the 2nd and 5 play after Chris Wolf used his last time out, a screen pass across the middle to Garrett Dennis. Tigers looked like they had it defended, but he made a couple guys miss. A couple guys actually ran into each other. He got all the way down to the 30, maybe the 27-yard line. So a gain of 12 and a first down for the Bulldogs. 7-0. St. X leads it. 9:11 to go here in the first half. Dennis in motion from left to right. Cheshire in the pistol. Gets the hand off to Vestal, running right. Tigers try to string it out, and Nolan Bruner from behind makes the tackle, chased him all the way down the line of scrimmage. Cameron Sams was there as well. It's a pickup of 2 to the 25. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Well, nice job. Once again,
you're up.
On the outside. Maybe I'm just not hearing myself. There we go. Nice job of the Tigers on the outside, on the left side. The corner over there, I'm having trouble seeing these numbers from the outside of the field. Did an excellent job of staying on the outside shoulder, and then the Tigers' pursuit came in, made an excellent play. So 2nd and 8 from the Tiger 25-yard line. 8:30 left in the first half. Tigers lead 7-0.
Josiah Ford comes in, goes wide to the right. Bibb in motion, fake it to him, give it to Dennis on the counter, and running to the right. He's down near the 20-yard line, fights his way forward to the 19.
And that time they didn't blow the whistle very quickly.
Yeah, they didn't. 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Bulldogs. Garrett Dennis gang tackled at about the 19-yard line. Dennis has 566 yards and 5 touchdowns. He and Henry Vestal, who's got 809 yards, leading rushers for the Bulldogs.
Tigers have only had one possession here in the first half, John. We're down to 7:48. Bulldogs have the ball trailing 7-0.
Big 3rd and 2 here for Mail at the Tiger 19. Pistol formation. Dennis is behind Cheshire. Now Bibb motion from right to left, then back from left to right. I think this is going to be a whistle before the snap.
Going to be offsides on the Tigers, I believe.
Cheshire, it was a play fake. He was rolling to the right, and it's a false start against the Bulldogs.
That's even better if you're a
Tony
Tiger
Burke,
fan.
0 for 1.
Well, I saw one of the Tigers jump, and I assume. But if you've noticed, when the Bulldogs, John, have run the ball, it's been to the right side pretty much the whole time. So they have more confidence in that right side of that offensive line. Tigers will take that. And I correct myself. Tigers have actually had the ball twice. They fumbled on one play the second time they had the football.
So they move it back to the 24, and a 3rd and 2 now becomes a 3rd and 7. The Mail Bulldogs with 7:19 to go in the half. Tigers clinging to their 7-0 lead. They scored on their opening possession. It was a short one, about 44 yards.
Here on
Jack
Friday
Albers
the
took it
13th.
in. Oh, don't remind me. Chester in the shotgun. Fake it to Dennis. Wants to throw. It's high. It's a lob. It's caught for the first down. Just a Harrison Pate way off of the receiver, Josiah Ford. And that ball hung for a little while, but Cheshire knew he had separation. It's a first down for the Bulldogs. Down at the 13-yard line. Gain of 11. Cheshire, quick throw to the right. It is caught by Ford again, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 10. Gain of about 3 on the play. Again, we saw this a lot last week, Tony Manuel, just a little pitch and catch, and the Tigers were way off. They closed the gap here. Made some adjustments this week. It looks like they're not as far off, but they're still off.
Well, what the receivers try to do, they try to run the corners off, run them back and get them backpedal and then cut their route and come back quickly. It's been effective, but that's what the Bulldogs have done a lot against the Tigers over the year. Try to get it into the flat, let athletes make plays.
2nd and 7, ball at the 10. Bibb in motion, fake it to him. Wanting to throw is Cheshire. Now rolling out to his left. In trouble and sacked all the way back near the 25-yard line. There are 4 Tigers back there, but the one that made the play was Andrew Ewells, who came through, didn't go for the fake, just kept chasing Cheshire down, and they'll spot it at the 23, but a loss of 13 on the play.
Well, Ewells got the push up the middle, and that's what blew that play up because Chester tried to run, and he made the mistake of trying to spin out of it, and then there was a bunch of Tigers there along with Evan Walker, but Ewells makes that play. Now the Bulldogs put themselves in 3rd and 20 from the Tiger 23-yard line. 6 minutes left, first half, 7-0 Tigers.
And still not out of the huddle, and no timeouts left for Chris Wolf here.
Referee just raised his hand,
counting.
too.
Cheshire's in the shotgun. 4 to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion. I don't know how they got that off. Cheshire's going to throw it high and deep down the middle and just out of the reach of Josiah Ford, his intended receiver, who had 2 earlier catches on this drive. Good coverage for the Tigers. That one would have been a great catch in the back of the end zone, and it's 4th down.
Well, Carlin's trying to come over from his safety spot, and he was just a little late, John. He had a good angle, but he didn't get deep enough, and that ball's thrown in the perfect spot by Chester. The only guy that's going to catch it is the Bulldog, and it goes incomplete. So let's see what the Bulldogs are going to do here. I watched them warm up early in the game, and Andrew Hutchinson was not kicking them very well from the 40-yard line. So that's right where he's at.
He's got 2 field goals on the season. This will be a 40-yard attempt right from the middle of the field. Cheshire's the holder. High snap, had trouble with it. Block. The ball's back at the 30, picked up by Cheshire, and he is drilled at the 40-yard line. Harrison Pate made the last tackle on Cheshire, and it was a decleater. Tigers will take over. Jim Brinkman, any idea who got through and got the block there?
Yeah, it was number 29, Harrison Pate, same guy that made the tackle. So they were he basically came across the left side and blocked it.
Cheshire had trouble with the snap, and of course you got to, if you're the kicker, you're trying to kick it low anyway. Kicked it right into the line there. Hand off to Allgaier, and he is hit and dropped short of the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten Only lost a half yard, but it'll be second down and long as Dominic Allgaier running up the middle, Tony, just has not worked tonight for the Tigers.
Well, the Bulldogs are stacking the inside, and that's what Coach Wolf said. They dominated the line of scrimmage and doing a good job up front, but I think you'll see the Tigers go to that quick passing.
3 receivers in the pattern here. Allgaier in at running back. You got Cameron Garrett and Ben Mueller to the right, Will Crum to the left, and Trenton Zoller is in there at H-back. Albers looks a little confused here. On second, we'll call it 11. Play action. Wants to throw high and deep. He's got Mueller behind the D. He's got it at the 30. There's a flag down right where he caught it. He will go in for the touchdown. If it's against the Bulldogs, it's a 60-yard touchdown pass.
The defensive back grabbed Mueller as he was going by, and Mueller just broke free of him, caught the football, and then he decided the Bulldogs were not going to tackle him. So just what we said, they go play action. They look down the field. Touchdown Tigers, and I guarantee you this one's not coming back.
Tony, that was a great catch because it was over his head, and he had to sort of watch it all the way into his hands. Great catch from Ben Mueller and a terrific
great throw, yes,
by Albers. It stands. It is a 60-yard touchdown. Am I right on that? 59 is what they just officially announced it as.
Mueller's second touchdown catch of the year.
Matij in for the extra point. 4:53 left here in the first half. Quick strike there by the Tigers. Kick is up. The kick is through. 14-0. St. X leads it. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Boy, it was a nice throw.
Want to learn more about how you rise?
Remember, we're
or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kalen Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel.
Back at St. X, there was a penalty. Actually, I guess, Tony, that's got to be after the play. There's no way that a pass interference is marched off on the kickoff. It had to be after the play. Jim Brinkman, did you see a late flag?
What's going on, Jimmy?
No, it's just a post scrimmage kick enforcement. So after the penalty, the touchdown catch, they can decide do you want to enforce it on the extra point or do you want to enforce it on the kickoff? We had it last week at Manual also.
Well, now he boots this one into one of the soccer nets in the scoreboard end zone. Jim Brinkman, Mueller was open, but he had to work to get away from the defender.
Yeah, one of the things that St. X has wide receivers have been so much better are creating that distance between them and the defensive back. Now it does help when the defensive back is 8 inches shorter than you
and 5 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and the other thing too is the St. X, the male defense has been bringing 7, bringing 8 into the box to stop the run.
That's a male legacy, Tony. They do it all the time.
And they're doing a good job of stopping the run, but if you keep hitting them for plays like that, it doesn't matter.
4:53 left here in the half. 14-0 Tigers lead it. Big drive here, 20-yard line. Cam Cheshire will bring his team to the line of scrimmage. Tigers bring pressure. A little screen to the right to Bibb. He gets a block at the 20, and he's down the right sideline. Across midfield, he'll cut back inside at the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. Perfect play call. Tigers brought 5 rushers, and the screen was the perfect call, Tony.
Well, they had 2 guys split to that side and then put a man in motion over there, and that's the weak side of the Tiger defense, and Evan Walker rushed, so there was only a couple Tigers out there, and a huge play by the Bulldogs after the Tigers go up 14-0.
46 yards on the catch and run for Bibb down to the Tiger 34. Cheshire, quick throw to the right, caught by Ford, and he fights his way forward, short of the first down. Harrison Pate had a hold of him. But Ford just lowered his shoulder and got a couple extra yards to the 26. Gain of 8 and bring up 2nd and 2.
And all they did was run the corner back off the line of scrimmage again, get it out quickly, and now the Bulldogs are trying to get down and get some points on the board, and they're at the Tiger 26-yard line.
4:09 to play here in the half. Cheshire has Dennis behind him and Bibb in motion from left to right. Takes a snap, high snap, he wants to throw. Rolling to the left, looking across the middle and incomplete through a missile past Bibb's ear hole. Good coverage on the play. That's Doug Schaffner, who was with Ethan Bibb. Shepard was in the area as well. I like that play call for Mail. It's 3rd and 2 now.
Tigers did not bite at all. Jake Netherton from the corner actually did a great job. He stayed with the receiver down the field. He was not open. 2 Tigers with the guy crossing. They ran a guy deep. Tiger safeties were back there. Nowhere for Chester to throw the football and actually tried to force it in there on that play.
3rd down 2. Clock stopped on the incompletion. 3:54 to go in the half.
And you know they're going to go run 2 plays here to get this first down.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. They got Higgs in there. That's their short yardage back. They give it to him up the middle, and he is hit and dropped.
Nothing there.
Right at the line of scrimmage. Andrew Ewells.
Unblocked.
How do you not find Andrew Ewells? It's 4th and 2.
Yeah, I was watching the replay, and he came off that spot, and nobody touched him, so he was in the offensive backfield very quickly. Mel has no timeouts. 4th and 2 from the Tiger, 26-yard line, and they're going very slow again. A lot of indecision on the Bulldog side.
Davion Higgs will stay in at running back. And now Dennis is in there in the Wildcat formation. So you got 2 options here now. Higgs goes in motion. So Dennis wants to throw it. Now he's going to run it. He is hit. Fights his way. Not going to get even close. Didn't get close to the line of scrimmage. Schaffner was the first guy to slow him down. And Wyatt Smock in there at defensive line on short yardage makes the tackle. And the Bulldogs turn it over on downs. It looked like they were confused, Tony, but with no timeouts, they couldn't do anything.
Well, John, it
looked like Dennis wanted to throw it.
They out-thumped themselves, I think. It was a fake the whole way, and I think he was going to run it, but they went to the Wildcat on 4th down earlier and he kept the ball, and it was a nice-looking play. And that time, a lot of confusion, so the Tigers hold and will take over at their own 28-yard line.
1st and 10. Albers brings Coleman in motion and gives it to him on the jet sweep. Needs 1 block out here. Gets it across the 35 and steps out of bounds, short of the first down mark. Good block out there. I think it was, let's see who that was. Bryson Harkins. Yeah, who got out in front of him, gave him a block. He got to the 35 before he went out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. It's a gain of 7.
Well, the Bulldogs are still coming in, so good time to hand it to Coleman, and a nice gain on 1st down.
14-0. Tigers lead it. 3:05 to go in the half. 4 receivers. This time Albers keeps it, and he runs right into the waiting arms of Dallas Douglas. Faked it to Moretti. I think either way you go there, it's not going to be much. Give him a yard to the 36, and it'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. St. X with all 3 timeouts left. Clock moving with 2:40 to go here in the first half.
And sometimes the defense just does a better job than the offense, and that's what the Bulldogs did there.
And don't forget, Tigers will get the ball to start the second half as well. Harkins to the short side to the right, 3 to the left on 3rd down. Quick throw to Will Ginter. Going to have to make a move. He does. Does he get the first down? Still running. Yeah, he got it and got across the 40. He's hard to find.
It's a little guy.
Those lacrosse players are hard to find, and when you find them, they're hard to bring down. He got to the 40 before he got pushed down.
Yeah, a nice job actually by the Bulldogs. Kersey out there and a couple other guys, but Will Ginter decided he was going to get that first down, and he spun, kept his head down, stayed low to the ground, which he is at a 5-7, and moves the ball out to the Tiger 40. 2:22 left first half. Tigers trying to get something going here, up 14-0 late first half.
Clock stopped as Ginter got out of bounds with 2:22 to go. 1st and 10 at the 40. Mail showing pressure. Handoff up the middle, tripped up. I think that's Dominic Allgaier in there again. No, and that's Moretti. I take it back. Got a yard.
Bad read by Jack there. If he keeps it, Johnny's still running. He looked up after he handed off and he dropped his shoulders because nobody was on the outside, and he'd already decided to give it up.
2nd down and 9 as we hit the 2-minute mark.
Middle of the field.
Moretti in the backfield. Albers will look to the sideline. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. It's an option to the left, pitching to Moretti, and there's just nowhere to go. I don't understand this option play, Tony. It hasn't worked, especially when they pitched it each time.
And if this is a penalty on the Tigers, this is a terrible call. I was watching the screen here, and I believe it was Crum, or I'm not sure who I'm not going to say. It was one of the receivers, got hit in the back, and they turned around and said something. And I think they're going to give an unsportsmanlike conduct call on the Tigers.
Oh, it's personal
and I'm
foul
wrong
against
again.
Mail.
It's the right call is what that is.
So they saw it. Usually it's the second guy. Jim Brinkman, you were down there. What'd you see?
I'm just amazed that we've gotten a number of breaks. You know, there were a number of times where I've seen some holding by the Tigers and stuff. So far, so good for the calls. They say it's 50-50, but right now I think we're getting the benefit of the doubt. I think that they correctly called that, like Tony said.
1st and 10 in Mail territory. It's a flea flicker. Albers throws it deep down the middle, and he overshot his intended receiver, and he had Andre Coleman on the other side. He was trying to get it to Zach Johnston. I love the play. Hand it to Moretti. He pitched it back to Albers. You don't see the Tigers do that very often.
No, and it was the right call. It was just I think Jack got in a hurry because he thought he had to get it out of there quick. And I think he'd already made up his mind he was going to throw it to Johnston. And Andre Coleman was running down the numbers on the left side, 10 yards behind the defense.
2nd and 10. I like the call. 48-yard line of Mail. 1:27 to play. Handoff up the middle. Big hole for the first time up the middle. A first down across the 35. Goes Anthony Moretti.
Tigers have 3 timeouts.
They have all 3 with 1:20 to go here.
And, John, that play worked because the Bulldogs were expecting pass.
Tigers quickly to the line of scrimmage. Clock moving with 1:17. Albers, play action over the middle. Incomplete through the hands of Johnston, and he is slow to get up. And that may be, I think that one might have hurt his pride a little bit.
Well, no, I think that's one of the ones you go back to the quarterback and say, hey, you can't throw it there because you are going to get me killed. And Johnston took a hard blow.
2nd and 10. Clock stops on the incompletion. 1:13 to go in the half. 14-0. Tigers lead it.
Look for Varga coming out of the backfield here. He's in the ball game.
Varga in along with Moretti and the offset eye to the left of Albers. In motion comes Coleman to the short side. They fake it to him. Jack keeps it, running up the middle, gets to the 30. Gain of about 3 there. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Do you use a timeout now,
You have
John?
to use a timeout. What are we doing?
We're using a lot of times what we're doing. We're bringing players in the game.
Seeger will come in. Moretti will come out on a passing down. 3rd and 7. We're under 50 seconds. I mean, you can't take them with you. Of course, they'll score here, and we'll look like idiots.
Normally.
Albers in the shotgun. Wants to throw. Looking right, then back to the left. Now he'll run to the left. Pulls it down, throws, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Terrible throw by Jack Albers. Tried to throw a touch pass to Seeger, and it was picked off by the Bulldogs at the 5-yard line, and that's what they'll take over 1st and 10.
And you're right. Jack Albers 90% of the time makes good decisions, but what he cannot throw the touch pass on that one. Throw that sucker into the end zone and let your receiver run to it. He was behind him. But turnover by the Tigers with 31 seconds left here in the first half and a scoring opportunity. Boy, like you said, get the ball to start the second half. But Tigers do lead 14-0 with 31 seconds left in the first half. And, you know, John, he could have tucked that one too and ran it down the field.
Now, Mail's going to take a knee here. Bibb is a safety back.
Timeout.
Tigers have 3 timeouts. You can't take a knee 3 times because you know what? You're going to have to punt. They take a knee. Now, why is St. X not calling timeout? Explain that one to me. Tigers with 3 timeouts left, and you're going to let the Bulldogs inside their 5-yard line.
Makes no sense.
Finish the half. This is horrible coaching.
With 3 timeouts. And St. X just blocked a field goal.
Yeah. And they blocked punts this year. I just don't understand it. That'll end the first half. We'll stay right here and get the comments of the head coach. 14-0. Tigers with the lead. And they'll get the ball to start the second half, which is obviously good news. But I'm not going to lie, I'm perplexed.
Yeah, they should have maybe used the timeouts on the play before they had to hurry up. And then if you don't use it, you got to go to it. But I believe
I see Coach
he's running
Wilford.
him down. You got to go quicker than that, Jim. Show me some wheels.
All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
All right, we're here with Coach Wolford. 14-0. Scoreboard looks good.
Yeah, I'll take the scoreboard. I guess both mistakes right now, and uncharacteristic mistakes as well. Turn the ball over like we did there at the end. We shouldn't be doing that, but we get the ball first to start the second half, and I'm gonna get them ready.
Was that an audible to Mueller on the long pass?
It wasn't. We wanted to go ahead and run a little play action. They've been stuff in the line of scrimmage, so we were able to make them pay for that one. We may have to make them pay some more.
Okay. I want to ask you about you had some timeouts left there while they were taking a knee at the end of the half. You thought about maybe using those?
I didn't think I could get it done and get enough time done. Maybe I should have, but no, I didn't.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we'll kick it back here to John. Tigers leading 14-0, halftime.
Well, I think when you take a knee inside your 5 with 14 seconds left, you call timeout and you make them run a play, Tony, because a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, you put the ball in their court in that situation, and I think a good question by Jim. One I might not have asked if I was down there.
It's a great question.
But it is a good question, and Tigers do lead 14-0, but you could hear it in the tone of Coach Wolford's voice. Even though he's up 14-0, he'll take 14-0.
Absolutely.
Disappointed with how the first half ended.
We'll take a break. Come back. Eye Care Institute halftime report is on the way. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
When you're not cheering on, you're
Terrible.
That's awful.
It's terrible.
Tiger golf team, I believe. No, wait a minute. Let's see. Nope, cross country. Cross country team being honored here at halftime. They were still a few weeks away from their state championship run, which Tigers are favored to repeat as state cross country champions. We'll take another break here. Come back with more. 14-0. St. X leads at the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Nothing. St. X leads Male. Jack Albers with a 1-yard touchdown run and a 59-yard touchdown pass to Ben Mueller. And the happiest fan we've seen today was Mrs. Mueller when we were at break after Ben's touchdown.
She was running around the stadium, wasn't she?
Absolutely. It looked like she was being punished because she was running upstairs. We'll take one more break here in the first half. The Eye Care Institute halftime report is next. You're watching on Live Sportscaster, and you're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. All right, now we're at half.
Todd, you got Albers.
Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. 14-0. St. X leads it over Mail here at halftime. A 1-yard run from Jack Albers on the first drive of the game for the Tigers. It was a short drive, under 50 yards. And then in the second quarter, with about 5 minutes to go, Tigers strike quickly. A 59-yard perfect throw from Jack Albers and a terrific catch from Ben Mueller for the second touchdown. Alametitia with 2 extra points. It's 14-0 Tigers. A defense, Tony, that gave up a lot of yardage to Emmanuel last week and a lot of scoring, has done a terrific job against the high-powered Mail offense here tonight.
They have, John, and Mail's run 29 plays for 123 yards. Tigers 27 plays for 144. So what we told you would be a high-scoring game is 14-0. We're always on that. Tigers have rushed 18 times for 52 yards. Bulldogs 13 for 31. It's 2.9 for the Tigers, 2.4 for the Dogs. Tigers 7 first down. Mail with 11. Mail has moved the football a little bit in the Tiger territory, but have shown nothing on the scoreboard. Tigers lead 14-0 here at half.
And the Tigers, you're happy. You're playing Mail. You're trying to win the district, and you're up 14-0 at halftime. But 2 turnovers, the fumble after Mail had given you a muff punt in Mail territory, you fumble it right back to him on the next play, and then the interception down in the green zone from Jack Albers. Disappointing. If 14-0 against Mail can be disappointing, it is.
And with this being the 100th year of St. X football, Tigers and the Bulldogs have played a million times. I don't have it in front of me, but
747. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. A couple of quick individual stats, John. Jack Albers is 5 for 9 for 92 yards and interception. Cam Chester is 8 for 14 for both of them for 92 yards. Ben Mueller 2 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown for the Tigers.
And you were looking for some other scores.
Trinity's up 42-0 against Seneca.
Certainly expected that.
At halftime, PRP leads Manual 14-0.
And that's a game.
It's a big game.
It is a big game. If PRP were to lose that game, it would be a 3-way tie for third in the district. And then you don't know who you would play if you win the district here, because the number 5 seed out of our district is who the number 1 seed will play in the first round of the playoffs. But we will take another break. 14-0. Both teams in the locker room getting instructions. And if you're Will Wolford, Tony, what do you say to your guys after that first half? And how important is it to put something on the board in this opening drive of the third quarter?
Well, Tigers have moved the football. The first possession, they went down the field and scored. And I think that it is the key. You say the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the first half and second half are huge because it sets the tone for the whole time. Tigers will get the ball. If they can go down and get some points, Mail will be playing from at least 3 scores down.
And if you're Chris Wolf, what's the message to your team? We're moving the ball. We just got to execute when we get down near the goal line.
Yeah, a blocked field goal, which was a bad snap. They get down there. Chester gets sacked on a play, and they've just killed themselves. And that's what he's telling. We get rid of the errors, get some points on the board, we have an opportunity to win this football game.
We'll take a break, come back with more here on the Eye Care Institute Halftime Report. 14-0. St. X leads Mail. You're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network.
This is Larry Bissing. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. on 790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example.
Taylor.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
Listening to the game down the street at the tailgate still.
He calls my show all the time. We love Tommy from Camp Taylor.
Yeah, he better take care of us.
He absolutely better. Ryan Dobson down there, Tony, throwing 50-yard bombs with his left hand with a bad knee. Good to see.
Yeah, just
in
out
case
there
you're getting a pickle.
Walking around. But if you're
also, quickly, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Which was 3 days ago. And to my daughter, Macy, she turned 21 on Wednesday, which means I'm a really old man. My youngest is 21, so happy birthday, Macy.
And I say happy birthday to my sister, Denise Hayden, Luke Hayden's mother, whose birthday was yesterday.
So we'll get all these birthdays out of the way.
And another thing is, John.
And you're 62 now, right?
Yes, somewhere around
somewhere
there. I want to say hi to Joe Herp again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe's a long-time Tiger Chain Gang fan, and thinking about you, Joe.
We'll take another break. Come back, second half action on the way. Tigers out of the locker room. Male still, they're down on the baseball field. They should be over here shortly. 14-0, St. X leads it. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Second half kickoff. Tigers lead it over Male here 14-0. And St. X will get the ball to begin the second half. Male will kick. Drew Hutchinson with the scoreboard to his back. Tigers have 3 deep. Andre Coleman, Cameron Garrett, and Miles Harris.
Different look for the Tigers.
Different look. 3 deep, all at about the 10-yard line from hash mark to hash mark. So Hutchinson ready to go here. And it's an onside kick, and the Bulldogs may have it. It's
still on the ground.
loose.
I think they got it.
And I think the Bulldogs have it. Boy, the Tigers messed that one up bad. Dallas Douglas came through and made a hit. They're unscrambling people. Mail says they have it. Tigers walk away dejectedly, and the Bulldogs have it at midfield. Well, Chris Wolf takes a chance, and it pays off.
Well, the Tiger up front tried to field it, and it bounced off of him.
Looked like it went off his knee and jetted toward midfield.
That's what you try to do as a kicker, kick it hard at somebody, and that's what happened. Now, a huge break. We talked about the Tigers getting the ball and getting on the board, but now if you're the Bulldogs, you try to answer this 14-0, trailing 14-0.
First down and 10.
And an illegal substitute.
Too many guys on the field. 12 guys. Chris Wolf irate with one of his players. We won't throw him under the bus, but he is livid on that male sideline. That'll move it back to their own 45. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Bulldogs. We do not see Garrett Dennis on the field, the running back / wide receiver. He does everything for this team. We had word that he was injured in that first half. Never saw it, but he's not out there. Right up the middle. Huge hole up the middle for Vestal, and he has got a first down, a gain of 15 down to the 40 before he's knocked off his feet, and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Well, little momentum.
Absolutely.
Starts the second half for the Bulldogs.
And quicker to the line of scrimmage are the Bulldogs as well. 3 receivers in the pattern on first down. They give it to Vestal again up the middle, hit at the line, fights loose for about 4 before Evan Walker can bring him down, along with Andrew Ewells up off the bottom of the pile. Schaffner there as well.
Got to get him down the first time. Tigers had good penetration up front, made the hit, and Vestal decides he does not want to go down and gets about 4.
Second and a long 6 here for the Bulldogs. Empty backfield. 4 receivers in the pattern. Now Bibb in motion. He'll take the handoff on the jet sweep, running left, and he is brought down short of the first down. Got about 4 more yards.
And boy, Vestal could have got called for holding on the outside there.
It looked like he had a hold of Evan Walker. Netherton made the tackle, brings up a 3rd and 2 for the Bulldogs. Vestal in the backfield. Cheshire will throw it to the left, and it's short, out of the reach of his intended receiver, Isaiah Cummings, a little behind him and low. Not a good throw from Cam Cheshire, and it's 4th and 2, and Bulldogs will go for it at the Tiger 32-yard line.
Well, Cheshire got in a hurry there for some reason, and he really didn't give the receiver a chance to come back to the football. He had a cushion, so now 4th and 2. Tigers have been good on 4th down.
4 receivers, empty backfield again. Here comes Bibb. They fake it to him, running left, hit and dropped short of the first down. Great open field tackle that time from Patrick Owen, the junior, and the Tigers will take over on downs at their own 31. He needed 2 and he got 1. And what a hit from Patrick Owen, Tony.
Well, the big junior middle linebacker does a great job of coming up all 6'2", 225 at that middle linebacker spot and puts it on Cam Cheshire. And Tigers get away from that onside kick, getting away from him, and now they get the ball at their own 31.
So Jack Albers, a senior, will come out at the 31. 1st and 10. Play action to Moretti. Wanting to throw, throwing down the sideline. Nice diving catch for Will Crum. Not bad coverage out there, Tony, by Jacoby Warfield. But again, it's that height advantage Jim talked about earlier. Crum catches at the 46. It's a first down for the Tigers.
And he didn't catch it high. He went down and stretched out, and Albers threw it in a good spot, and a great catch by Will Crum.
Moretti in the backfield again. Albers wants to throw again. It is caught by Crum at midfield, diving forward to about the 47-yard line. So that's 7 more yards for Will Crum. Just a quick little in pattern.
And Coach Wolford looks at Will Crum and goes, don't stretch that ball out. It almost got knocked away.
It came out, but it was after Will Crum and the ball had hit the ground. 2nd and 3. Tigers look like they want to throw it this half. This time they give it to Moretti. Up the middle, hit and drop short of the first down. Fights his way close to the 45-yard line, but a little short of it. It'll be 3rd and a long 1 for the Tigers.
Well, you got to get upfield. You can't go stop, cut back, and make a play. Make a decision, get up the field. You only needed a couple yards. So Tigers look at 3rd and 1 from the Bulldog 45.
And if he stays outside, Tony, I think he's got some room to work with. 2 to the left, 1 to the right.
Fake.
Cameron Garrett is wide right now. He comes in motion on 3rd and 1. Tigers with a long snap count.
Like it.
Garrett will come back over to the right side, and they'll reset.
They'll go right back to it, John. I don't know about the formation.
He does go in motion. Albers takes a snap, gives it to the second man through. It's Moretti lowering his shoulder and getting the first down. That's just hard running from Anthony Moretti that time. Right up the gut. Needed a yard and a half, got a couple. It's a first down for the Tigers inside the 44-yard line of Mail. 9:23 to go in the third quarter. St. X leads at 14-0.
Tigers in rhythm, and that motion fake opened that up.
Handoff Moretti running right, cuts inside at the 41. Kersey brings him down right at the 40-yard line. It's a gain of about 3. 3.5. It'll bring a 2nd and a long 6. Joe Kersey, one of the leading tacklers for the Bulldogs.
Just a sophomore.
Made a nice tackle there.
They go right that time and outside, and Chase Ferris and Nick Kennedy on that side doing a good job on that offensive line.
This time Mueller and Garrett go to the left. Crumbs to the short side, the right. They give it to Moretti again, running right, cuts inside, tripped up. That's Warfield, the corner, who came up and got a piece of Anthony Moretti. Fell forward about the 38, 37-yard line, close to the 37. And that'll make it 3rd and about 4. It's a long 4.
Well, I'd like to see Anthony get up in there quicker, John. I think he's, sometimes it's good to be, look around, but get up behind those big guys and get a couple more extra yards.
2 to the left, 1 to the right here on 3rd and 4. Jack wants to throw it. Pressure comes, and he overshot his intended receiver, Cameron Garrett. And it'll bring up 4th down, and I expect the Tigers to try to pin the Bulldogs down here. But we'll see. Ball's at the 37.
Looks like they're going to go for it.
Offense stays on the field. Mueller and Crum.
And, John, on that play, they brought the blitz up the middle, and that made Albers get that ball out there much quicker than he wanted to.
Go to the left. And
try to get him a jump.
Garrett to the right. Albers will come up to the line of scrimmage, and now it's an empty backfield. 2 H-backs. Moretti is one of the H-backs. He takes a snap and pooches it and kicks it straight up into the air. It bounces at the 25, and luckily for the Tigers, it hit a Tiger at the 25-yard line. So that's a 12-yard punt for Jack Albers. If you're going to do that, Tony, put Kyle Nally in there and let him try to hit the coffin corner. He's done it all year long.
Well, that play worked against Trinity, and unfortunately for Albers, once again, don't get in such a hurry. Just make sure you kick it down the field. If it goes in the end zone, it goes in the end zone. But Tigers stall in here with 7:59 left in the third. Tigers still lead 14-0. That was the halftime score, and Mel will take over at their own 25-yard line.
And it's just not a good feeling. Bulldogs just hanging around in this game. Cam Cheshire back in at quarterback. He's got Vestal behind him, and again, we have not seen Garrett Dennis in the second half. Play action, rolling right is Cheshire. He's got some room, being chased out of there and dropped. What a great play by Nolan Bruner, who came from his end position and just chased Cheshire down. I didn't think he had a shot at him, Tony, but he got him back at the 19-yard line for the sack. It's a loss of 6.
Well, we've seen Nolan Bruner do that all year. He's not the biggest guy. He's about 6'2", maybe a little over 200, and he's got great quickness. And that right there, he ran the quarterback down who looked like he had some room to run, and the Bulldogs lose 6 on first down, and they're back to their own 19-yard line.
3 receivers make it 4, come wide to the left. Josiah Ford is alone to the right. Now Vestal in motion. They fake it to him. Quick throw to the left. It is caught. Not much there, maybe about 5 yards. Isaiah Cummings with the catch, just a little inside screen.
Doug
Actually
Schaffner
spotted at the 23, so it's a gain of 4. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 12. Doug Schaffner, as Tony said. First
and John,
man there.
What they did when they got it out quick, the Tigers on the pass got off blocks. And when they can get off blocks, it's tough for anybody to get upfield. So now 3rd and 12 from the Bulldog 23-yard line.
Empty backfield. 5 receivers in the pattern here. Tigers showing blitz. They got 5 at the line. They only bring 3, and there's a whistle before the snap.
Legal procedure.
Boy, and Cheshire was in trouble there too, Tony.
Well,
He was running away from Andrew Yules like his life depended on it.
Well, what I liked right there, Tigers looked like they were running a little bit of a stunt. You don't see a lot of stunts out of the Tigers, but it looked like they were bringing a guy from the outside in, and I think that's what you got to do sometimes. I think the offense gets very comfortable on the offensive line sometimes, and Tigers stay in their base set, and you show them something different, and it confuses them. And now the Bulldogs look at 3rd and 17 from their own 18-yard line. Tigers lead 14-0 here in the 3rd.
I'd certainly expect a screen here for Mayo. You got to be ready. They have a very good screen game. 3 receivers. Bibb in motion, and Vestal is the running back. Cheshire wants to play action. Hit and drop. Hammered. They ran a stunt again, Tony. It was Nolan Bruner who came from the outside, curled inside, and he hit Cheshire hard.
I'm going to tell you what, Connor Schaefer came clean too. Both of them came clean, and Bruner, who we talked about has great quickness, just puts Cheshire on the ground at about the 11-yard line. So as the clock runs down to 6 minutes left here in the 3rd, the Bulldogs will have to punt from right at their goal line.
DJ Bross, offensive lineman.
And the guy just got hit. John's back here punting it.
DJ Bross at all 247 of them got up limping on that one. Cheshire boots it out of there. Good kick. High. Seeger takes it at the 47 to the 45. Cuts inside. Not much there. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. And Ben Seeger brought down at about the 45-yard line of Mayo. The Tigers will take over 1st and 10 there. It's been an exciting quarter with no points so far, Jimmy.
Yeah, exciting, but the thing that I'm seeing about the Mayo offense is they are just making mistake after mistake. There were a couple of times that the wide receivers went in motion, and then they had to stop, and I can see that those 3 timeouts were wasted in the first half.
1st and 10 Tigers at the Mayo 45. Imperative to get something on the board here. Up the middle goes Allgaier, tripped up from behind. He got about 4 on the play to the 41-yard line. So now you've got the shock, and I'm going to call them the shock unit in there. You've got Coleman, Johnston, Harkins in at wide receiver, and Allgaier in at running back. Will Ginter's in there as a 4th receiver now. Albers takes a snap, hands it to Allgaier up the middle. He's inside the 40. Great blocking that time from that offensive line. They push the Bulldogs around, and Allgaier able to get 5 yards down to the 36. Slow to get up. A couple of Bulldogs.
And John, give Six, Smock, and Curley a lot of credit. That's where they went that time.
Chaz Webster made the tackle, and he was slow to get up. 3rd and 1. Albers looking to the sideline. He's got Allgaier back there with him. Takes a snap. Give it to Dominic.
Still got it.
Kept it. Up the middle. He's going to go. 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Jack Albers tripped up at the goal line and just kind of slid through the end zone. Boy, he has done that 3 or 4 times tonight, Tony. Just great play fakes. And the Bulldogs were chasing him from the get-go, and the Tigers extend the lead.
Well, the defensive end collapsed down on the fake to Allgaier, and it was just a foot race after that. Albers goes down the middle of the field. Tigers go up 20-0. 4:39 left here in the 3rd as Alan Matija comes on to attempt the extra point.
The Tigers have scored a touchdown in each quarter now. Jude Carlin will hold it. Doug Schaffner will snap it. Kick is up. Kick is good. It's no good. Wide to the right. 20-0. Tigers lead it. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. How long was that run, Todd?
Turn this down. Back at St. X, John
Tony, Jim, and Todd. Kick taken by Vestal. Short high kick, took a big hop. Vestal picked it up at about the 18. Returned it right on the St. X sideline and knocked out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Jim Brinkman, offensive line, kind of getting things done there for the Tigers.
Yeah, and the things that we've talked about this whole season, you know, that we saw in the second half of the PRP, the second half of the manual, the second half of the Bowling Green games, St. X Tigers wear down their opponents on the defensive side.
Cheshire's alone in the backfield here on first down. Vestal in motion. They quick throw to the left, and that may have been picked off. No, it hit the turf. It hit Cummings, who was hit immediately by Andrews Agbagu.
And John,
the ball came loose, but I don't think Cummings ever had it.
What I like what the Tigers are doing, they didn't show that they had enough guys out there right before the snap. What we talked about last week, they brought a guy out and they brought a guy up, trying to guess the play right. And when you do that, there's nothing there. And that was almost a disaster for the Male Bulldogs.
So you got James Shepard and Nathan Skrodsky are the outside linebackers now. Deemer, Shugart, and Bascom down in the front three. Cameron Sams and Patrick Owen are the linebackers on 2nd and 10. Owen showing blitz here. He'll back out of it, throw to the right. It is caught by Ford, and he is fighting his way forward. It's a scrum as Rugby has broken out. Ford never went down, but he was tackled by about 8 of the 11 Tigers out there. They'll give him the 29-yard line. So it's a gain of about almost 6. Brings up a 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs.
And the Tigers played that very well too, John. Give the Bulldogs credit for getting the yardage they got on that one, because Tigers had that stacked up, but the Bulldogs got a good push to get it out to their own 29-yard line. 20-0 Tigers here, late third quarter.
3:50 to go. Clock continues to run. Ford goes to the right, 4 receivers to the left, and an empty backfield again, and Chris Wolf forced to call another timeout instead of taking a delay of game penalty. We'll keep it right here with 3:39 to go. So Chris Wolf has called 4 timeouts tonight, Tony. 2 in the first quarter, 1 early in the second quarter, and then 1 here in the third quarter that he shouldn't have to call.
And that's what Jim was talking about. He said they look like they're confused. They look like they're doing stuff wrong. And you don't expect that this time of the season out of a Coach Wolf team over at Male High School. And right now, but the one thing you got to remember is Male has some speed. And every once in a while you see a guy try to get loose, but the Tigers have done a nice job of shifting their defense a little bit, making those quick passes on the outside tough. And now you're looking at 3rd and 4. And if the Tigers get a stop right here, Bulldogs have probably no choice but to kick it away. And then if you can chew clock up, this game, you start stretching this game out. And time starts getting to be in your favor. A lot of time left, though. 3:39 left, third quarter, 20-0 Tigers.
I don't want to read into anything, but as I look over across the Male sideline, I do not see Garrett Dennis anywhere over there. He has, and I think on that 4th down play late in the half, Tony, he took a shot, and I don't believe we've seen him since. 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs at their own 29. 5 receivers in the pattern. Rolling left is Cheshire. Throws. It is caught by Bibb. He's got the first down and almost knocked out of there by Netherton as he and Shepard, along with Sams, combined on the tackle. They'll stop him at the 35-yard line. They needed 4. They got 6, and it's a first down for Male.
Like the call by the Bulldogs. They ran 2 guys down and ran a guy underneath and got the first down by about 1.5 yards.
2 to the right, 1 to the left on first down. Cheshire this time will hand it to Vestal up the middle. He's got a hole, crosses the 35 out about the 39. Give him 4 yards. Patrick Owen and actually Ben Shugart up off the bottom of the pile. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And a little more hurry up in the step of the Bulldogs here, down 20. Cheshire takes a snap. Quick throw to the right. Oh, almost picked. Ball hits the ground. Boy, Sam Borman read that. It looked like it went right through his hands, which is why the receiver didn't catch it, because Sam Borman acted as a screener there, and the receiver never saw that one coming. That had 6 written all over.
Well, what they did is they kept Jude Carlin back, and when they thought they were going to throw it, Borman just came on a dead run before the ball was thrown and almost got him 6 right there. And I tell you what, if Mel would have caught it, it might have been 6.
3rd down and 6. Yeah, you're right. 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Cheshire, quick throw to the right. This one is caught by Ford, and he is going to be pushed back at about the 41-yard line, so only a 2-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up 4th and 4. Good job by the Tigers. Sam's limping a little bit as he comes out of there, but he got there quickly. Walker got there quickly. Ewells gets everywhere quickly. And it's 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for the Bulldogs.
And I don't expect any trickery right here, but if you're the Tigers, you still have to think about it. Put one guy deep and play your base. And we have nobody deep right now.
Yeah, they're going to let him kick it away. Tigers with their base defense in there. Stay on side here and let him kick it away. And Cheshire does kick it, and this one might roll to a Poplar level roll.
Well, I think
bounces at the 15 and rolls out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
You got to put one guy back here, though.
I don't disagree with you. If you're, tell Borman, go back there, or Jude Carlin, if you got your base defense in there. Ball rolls out of bounds at the 8-yard line. That's a 51-yard kick for Cam Cheshire. Tigers backed up, but they've got possession with 2:08 to go in the third, and a 20-0 lead.
And a nice job by the Tiger defense right there. Really played that outside quick pass better than they've played it all year long. Manuel hurt him with it. Trinity hurt him the last 2 weeks. And the Tigers have done a great job tonight taking care of that.
Tigers with the starters back in there now. And Moretti will get the call and gets out to about the 10. Gain of a couple. Pulled down from behind there. And male Bulldog is down and writhing in pain. Michael Moss, the senior defensive tackle. And he is in a lot of pain out there. Gain of 2 for, I believe it's Moretti.
And John,
it is.
And what you're looking for the Tigers right here, if you can put together a nice drive, you don't even have to score right here. You want to get out of the shadow of your own end zone, move the ball down. It's late third quarter. And
yeah, a couple of first downs here, Tony, goes a long way toward ending this game. If you can get to the end of the third quarter with the ball and a 20-0 lead, I don't care who you're playing, you're in good shape.
Trying to run down some scores here, but our guys from the Courier are not out in full.
What's wrong with those guys?
Yeah, they're not everybody's out today. I see
I know,
Mr. Bittenbender, he's giving the hockey scores.
He actually is in Columbus tonight watching the New York Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets and writing a story on that, not for the Courier Journal, but for another news service. Jason Frakes is here with us tonight, so you can read all about this game in Sunday's paper, of course.
I'll give you a Catholic score after that. Frankfurt 39, Holy Cross 21 at halftime.
Wow, a little defense there?
Yeah, a whole lot. Not.
We are going to take our end of the quarter break here. It looks like this young man might be down for a while. It is
bringing the Gator.
20-0 Tigers with 1:55 to go in the third. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans.
What do you got? Punt, fumble, block, field goal, downs, halftime downs, punt. So they have 4th down, 20. And Garrett Dennis, Jim, give us an update on him. Tell that story again for me.
Yeah, so Garrett Dennis became the number 1 quarterback. He was the third choice for Mail.
And that's when Cheshire got hurt, right?
Yeah, after Cheshire got hurt. So after Mail tried a sophomore quarterback, Egan, in the second game, it was ineffective. They actually brought in Garrett Dennis to play against Trinity. And he played against Trinity and in the game 4. And then when Chester came back, Dennis became this Wildcat. So they're comfortable with him at quarterback. Him being out now, like I said, I I can't find him unless
Yeah.
I see a number over there at about the about the 40-yard line. Someone on a knee, but he has not returned. Big loss based on the statistical side. The other part of the male offense is they're about split, about 53% run and 47% pass. And we're not seeing that diversification.
Diversity.
Hey, good try.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, like you said, these are Ethan Bibb, 3-year starter. He's definitely solid.
And the player that's down is Michael Moss, senior defensive tackle, and he has been down for a while. The Gator now coming out. So this is apparently a big injury. Why is Brian Clemens here, Tony? Tell him to quit bothering us. We're on the radio. But a major injury here, I think, to Michael Moss, it looks like.
Yeah, and you hate to see that about anybody. Doesn't matter what team it is. Both teams are kneeling on the sidelines. Hopefully it's not as serious as it looks, but we're not doctors and we're not going to speculate on any of that. But, John, Tiger defense did a great job there to start the second half. Male could have got some momentum going after the onside kick that they recovered to start the second half. But the Jack Albers touchdown that strung this game out some at 20-0. We were at 1:55 left here in the third. But two teams fighting to try to win the district. Winner of this game will have home field advantage, but maybe the stronger part of the schedule for winning the game, but you can't substitute playing at home, and I know Coach Wolford wants to do that.
And to Jim's point, Garrett Dennis, Tony, on the season coming in, 93 rushes for 566 yards and 5 touchdowns, 22 catches for 159 and a touchdown, and he played quarterback for a few games as well. So here's a guy that does everything for this team. So when you take a guy like that out of the equation, your playbook all of a sudden shrinks.
Yeah, and guys like Rashawn McCauley, who they're missing, a great defensive player, and they played tight end last year, and they lose linebacker for most of last year and this year, Jeremy Gutterman, and they lost their nose tackle, I believe Brian Dickerson. They've had all kinds of injuries, and this time of the year, everybody's dinged up, but boy, they've had major injuries that have guys who might be out for the year, but they've got him up and going to get him over to the
Gator,
the Gator there.
And those three guys you mentioned, seniors too, Tony, and you cannot replace senior leadership. I mean, you might be able to replace a guy on the field like a gunnerman, but you're not going to replace the intangibles that a senior like that brings.
No, and these guys for Male have been in the program, for the last 4 years. Guys you really hope to rely on now. Tigers, you got to remember that what the Tigers lost in Brett Metzmeyer. Metzmeyer was one of the top running backs in the state and goes down, and now we've seen Anthony Moretti right after that take the reins and take the ball and run it well, and now we see Dominic Allgard. So you got to have guys step up, but it's hard to replace those guys, especially seniors, like you said, John.
Well, they put the air cast on the left lower leg of Michael Moss, and R.J. Romero will drive him out to the ambulance, which is waiting in the end zone down by the school.
We were disappointed last week with the Tiger defense, but tonight, Male's possessions, punt, fumble, block, field goal, downs, halftime, downs, punt, and punt. That's a pretty good job by the St. X defense against a Male team averaging 36 points a game.
And they're doing different things defensively, Tony, than we've seen all year long.
And we told them to do it last week, and I think they went back and watched it.
I don't think they listened to us.
Okay, I'm just checking.
So 1:55 to go in the third, 20-0. St. X leads it. They've got the ball with a 2nd and 8, deep in their own territory at the 10-yard line. Albers with an empty backfield. He'll bring Moretti in motion and give it to him on the jet sweep. He's got some room across the 15, lowers his shoulder, runs over the safety at the 20, and gets all the way out to the 24-yard line, 14 yards. That's the first time we've seen Moretti in the jet sweep.
Well, the one thing Moretti did there, he didn't look around. He didn't try to figure out where to go. He cut it up and just took off and lowered that shoulder and just got another 3 or 4 yards running over the safety.
1st and 10. Tigers will put 2 receivers to the left and 2 H-backs in as Varga comes in as well. Moretti is the lone setback. Crum and Mueller are wide to the left. Long snap count. Albers gives it to Moretti, running right, gets across the 25, fights his way forward about the 27. Gain of 3. as we hit the 1 minute mark left here in the third quarter.
And Jim Brinkman made a great point. He said the Tiger offensive line, they wear people down in the second half, and that's what's happening in here too, John. They're getting pad on pad and moving the Bulldogs up front, and Moretti's running with a little bit of a purpose now.
2nd and 7. Albers as Mail showing a little blitz here. It looked like Warfield, the corner, was going to leave Crum and come, so we'll see if he does still. Play action. Throw. Caught. One-handed catch from Will Crum on the St. X sideline. Pushed out of bounds by Jack Lucas, but what a catch from Will Crum. He had a great game last week, Tony, and he's continued it here tonight.
And, John, I just watched the replay. He's running it out to the right, and he catches it one-handed with his left hand. Will Crum is right-handed, and he caught it with his left hand going out of bounds, and the Tigers move the chains out to the 42-yard line. 32 seconds left in the third.
Albers in the shotgun. Tigers in no hurry here. They do snap it, give it to Moretti. Running right again. Great blocks. Zoller got out there. Wyatt Smocks in front of him. And Moretti with another first down, 11 yards to the 47-yard line, and the Tigers rolling right now.
Do you run a play here, John? I don't.
I do not. There's
I
no
think you
reason
let
to.
23 seconds run off. Take your 20-0 lead, and
I know you're on a roll here, but the clock's your friend.
And they're doing that. They're in no hurry. They're just standing out there clapping hands.
Third quarter comes to an end. 12 minutes of football left. 20-0. St. X with the lead over the Mail Bulldogs. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig on behalf of
the always entertaining Todd Powers. It is 20-0 St. X after 3 quarters. Tigers 137 yards on the ground now to 46 by Mail, and Tigers dominated that third quarter, Tony.
They did, John. Offensive line getting going. Jack Albers making good decisions. And I watched that catch by Will Crum again. Never put another hand on the ball. What a phenomenal play to get the first down.
First and 10 Tigers at the 47 as they head toward the school. And Moretti, Tony, is dishing out a little punishment now, too. He got hit there at the 45 after 2 yards and just ran over a tackler to the 42-yard line. So 2-yard gain turned into a 5-yard gain.
Tommy H, 73, coming up and saying hey to me. Always wants his name on there. Hey, but Moretti's running with a purpose, John. He's not looking anymore. He's just getting it downhill.
And Albers, they try to draw Mail offside, and then they'll use the clock. I mean, the clock is the 12th man right now. Jack takes a snap. Give it to Moretti, off right tackle, makes a man miss, fights his way short of the first down. Got inside the 40 to the 38. He'll be a yard shy after another 4-yard gain for Anthony Moretti, 3rd and 1.
Have guts to go play action right here, try to hit him?
I don't see any reason to use it because with the clock being your friend here, even if you don't get it here, you're going to run another 30 seconds off. A whistle and a flag. And
somebody lined up all sides, I would imagine, for either team. Somebody was – we'll see. I don't know what else it could be.
Will Crum
unless it's a sideline.
Looks like he's not happy. And confused officials. Jim, any idea here?
Yeah, the outside official was pointing something. It was like in an we think it was in an I had to guess that it's an encroachment, but we'll see. No flag.
That's what it is.
They wave it off. So play on.
John, I think after watching their defensive formation, I think Tigers got man press on the outside. I think they're going to throw it here.
Well, they got Varga and Zoller in at H-backs. Moretti's the lone setback. Only 2 receivers here. And this is Moretti. Spins and cannot get the first down. He stopped at the 38. No gain. 4th down. Do you pin them down here, or do you just go for it with 10:40 to go in the half?
I go for it because you can keep the ball and run the clock, but I wish they would have went to the motion there. It's just straight ahead. At least make them honor that motion guy and then get behind Wyatt Smock is where I would go.
2 receivers to the left here on 4th and 1 for the Tigers. They got to get to the 37. Mail everybody in the box
Everybody in the box.
Tigers look to the left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 guys.
Albers looks to the sideline and gets the play. Takes the snap. Fake it to Moretti. Jack keeps it. He's got the first down and more around the left end. 35, 30, and pushed out of bounds. Down near the 25-yard line, so 13 yards on 4th and 1 for Jack Albers. He's made a couple of times tonight, Tony, where he made the wrong decision, but when they run that play, he makes the right decision most of the time.
And Trenton Zoller doing a great job of sealing the outside and getting the block for him now. I believe it was Crum blocking downfield, but Trenton Zoller doesn't get a lot of credit, but doing a great job.
1st and 10. Albers takes a snap, wants to throw. Play action, looking, now throws deep down the middle and just out of the reach of his intended receiver. I think it's Mueller again. It is. He dove for it. 2 Bulldogs back there with him, but that's the right throw because Ben Mueller's the only guy that had a shot at catching that.
And, John, I like the call on 1st down right there. A good pass is a touchdown. He just let him a little bit too much, but he did make the right pass, and he threw it where nobody was going to catch it but Ben Mueller.
2nd and 10. Clock stops 9:59 left to play. 20-0. St. X leads it. Here's Allgaier. Oh, fake. Albers keeps it. A lot of room down the left side, and a nice tackle by the Bulldogs inside the 20. That is a 1st down saving tackle from Drew Hutchinson, the kicker punter.
And I don't have a problem with Albers keeping it. They're good-looking plays, but he needs to get down. He does need to take a big hit, but a nice read. He takes it around the outside. Now the ball is down to the 18-yard line of the Bulldogs, 3rd and 3.
It was a gain of 7 on 2nd and 10. 4 receivers now. Empty backfield, and Zoller in to help block. It's a quarterback draw. Jack in trouble, dives for the sticks, and he's going to be short by a yard, maybe half a yard. He got inside the 16. Will Crum saying, looking at the sideline, we're going for it, Coach, right?
Oh, I think you definitely go for it here.
It's 4th down and less, well, it's about almost a full yard at the 16-yard line. They have to get to the 15. 2nd, 4th down play on this drive for the Tigers. They converted the earlier one, obviously.
And Allgaier comes in the game at the tailback spot. Offset I.
Again, Jack will look to the sidelines as we're under 9 minutes to play. Offset I moves from the right of Albers to his left now.
Run it to the right.
Takes a snap. Give it to Allgaier, and he is going to fight but not get there, I don't believe. Nope, he's short. And Mail will take over on downs. Well, they ran into the big arms of Chris Malala, 6'1", 290, the sophomore. And Mail will take over at their own 16-yard line. And again, the Tigers had the ball at the end of the quarter, Tony. They ran 3.5 more minutes off of the clock, so there's 8:32 to go and a 20-0 St. X lead.
Yeah, and that's what you wanted to do. The clock's your friend. You wanted to run it. Surprisingly, they couldn't get that 3 yards on 2 plays, but give the Bulldogs credit up front. So Bulldogs take over at their own 16-yard line.
3 receivers in. Cheshire will hand it to Vestal up the middle. Not much there. Fights his way forward to about the 17-yard line. Give him a yard. But Andrew Ewells, that's not Andrew Ewells. Yes, it is Andrew Ewells.
It is.
Off the bottom of the pile. Schaefer was there as well. Evan Walker. Jake Archer in there as well. 2nd down and 9 for the Bulldogs.
On the first play from scrimmage, they kept it close to the Vestal there, didn't they?
Absolutely a bad joke.
Sorry.
But surprisingly, the Bulldogs go to the huddle. Not a hurry up at all here. Vestal in motion leaves the backfield empty. Cheshire's going to run it up the middle. Runs right into the arms of Nolan Bruner as he crosses the 20. They'll give him the 22-yard line as Bruner pushed him back there. It's a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 3rd down And 4.
2 running plays. A lot of time just rolling on that clock as we're down to about 7:30. Bulldogs looking to the sideline, trying to figure out what they're going to run.
Again, with
nobody at the line of scrimmage.
With Garrett Dennis out, Tony, it changes the playbook a little bit, but I still think you got to throw the football.
You got to throw it, and you got to go 2-minute offense right here if you're trying to win this game. I know they got some playmakers. You got to get up there and go. We're already down to 7:20.
Bibb, Cummings, and Ritchie all go wide to the left on 3rd down and 4. Ritchie comes in motion. He sets up on the right. Play action. Cheshire being chased out of there. Throws. It is caught by Ritchie. Well short of the first down. Good coverage by the Tigers. Schaffner was there, and Harrison Pate again. We've called his name a lot tonight. He was right there with Tyler Ritchie, who came across the field.
And, John, who was the Tiger put the pressure? I couldn't see the name. Was it Yules?
Yeah, it was Andrew Yules again. Boy, when Andrew Yules is chasing you, Tony, you better get rid of the football because he's going to catch just about everybody. He's got freakish speed for his size. Cheshire in punt formation on 4th and 3. Ben Seeger deep for the Tigers. Cheshire boots it out of there, high. Seeger fair catch called for, and he takes it at the 42. 34-yard kick. And a good job by Ben Seeger. The Tigers will take over. 6:26 to play, 20-0. St. X trying to lock up their district title here tonight. A win over the Male Bulldogs, and that will assure St. X, if they can hang on here, Tony, not just 2 more home games, but 4 more after that if you keep winning in the playoffs. This could be the first of 7 straight home games.
Yeah, John, it sure can. And see what the Tigers do offensively here as they take over at their own 42.
Allgaier is in for the Tigers. Coleman as well. They give it to Andre on the jet sweep. He's got Allgaier in front of him. He makes one man miss. He's across midfield to the 40 and hauled down from behind by Lucas. Jack Lucas. Andre Coleman, 19 yards on the play. That's a threat, Tony, because he's got very good speed.
Well, it's something you have to be aware of if you're the defense, and this Tigers set up. And
shock troops in again here. Johnston,
taking
Coleman,
their time.
Harkins, and Allgaier. Albers looks to the sideline as we go into the 6-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. Coleman in motion again. They fake it to him, give it to Allgaier up the gut. Goes off tackle. Got a great block from Canada and got inside the 35. The pile's still going down to about the 30. It's a gain of 9.
Canada, Curley, Trenton Zoller just getting low and moving the pile.
And to Jim Brinkman's point earlier, the
Bulldogs get up.
They look worn out.
Got their hands on their hips, on their legs. Tigers just running downhill at them right now.
2nd and 1. And no hurry for Albers as he'll watch the back judge here. Or one of his coaches will watch the back judge. He'll look at his coach who will tell him when to go.
20-0 Tigers.
Jack takes a snap, option left, pitch it to Allgaier. Cuts inside, lowers the boom on Jack Lucas, pushes him out of bounds. Got a yard, which is all he needed for the first down. Now, the one thing Dominic Allgaier will be told is, hey, stay in bounds here. There's no reason to run out of bounds with a 20-0 lead. The clock stops with exactly 5 minutes to play.
Boy, but he did punish the safety.
1st and 10 Tigers at 29 of the Male Bulldogs. Tigers looking for their 3rd straight win in the series. They won both games last year, 31-21. Here's Allgaier again up the middle. Has a big hole to the 20, 15, or excuse me, 25-20, and then spun down at about the 18-yard line. Last chance tackle for Jacoby Warfield.
Wow, the guys up front doing a phenomenal job watching the replay right here.
Gain of 11 for Allgaier to the 18. Tigers in the green zone. Brought to you by the Eye Care Institute and Dr. Brennan Green. And another set of downs for the Tigers here with under 5 to play. Jack looks to the sideline along with 9 other Tigers. Clayton 6, of course, not allowed to. Hope he doesn't get a complex over there. Option right. Albers keeps it. And
goes down what I like.
he
there.
saw a team picture of the defensive line of Mail there when he turned inside and said, you know what, I think I'm just going to live for another day here. It's a gain of 1 for Jack. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
And an excellent decision, like you said. They're running the option outside, and he tucks it up and says, you know what, like you said, I better go down. But the clock keeps running down to 4 minutes here.
Allgaier behind Zoller in the backfield.
But Allgaier gets it here.
Harkins to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Yeah, I think it's a throw to Zach Johnston.
I think you follow Trenton Zoller, and you'll see where Dominic Allgaier goes.
Jack takes a snap. Give it to Dominic. Big hole. 15, 10 to the 5 and tripped up. That's Warfield again with his 2nd touchdown-saving tackle in the last 3 plays. But the ball's at the 5, and it's 1st and goal for the Tigers.
And an extra offensive lineman when you're playing that H-back, and you're doing a great job. And Trenton Zoller, he did follow Trenton Zoller, and he moved the guy. The left side of that offensive line doing a great job, too, over there. Curley and Smock.
1st and goal at the 5 for the Tigers. This game is in the books. Tigers just seeing if they can add on here. Man in motion is Coleman. Fake it to him. Albers up the middle. Touchdown. St. X Tigers. Jack Albers.
Untouched.
From 5 yards out, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. And the other score for the Tigers was an Albers pass.
Well, John, Wyatt Smock didn't even have to throw the block. He tried to at the 2-yard line, because when they faked to Andre Coleman, the linebacker and the outside guy both were following Coleman, and all Alberts had to do was avoid the safety, and he did. And the Tigers go up 26-0 with 3:15 left in the football game.
The Tigers have scored 1 touchdown in each quarter tonight. It is 26-0. Extra point coming from Alan Matija, who missed his last one.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. But you know what? He picked a good game to miss one. It wasn't necessary. This one's up and through. 27-0 Tigers, 3:15 to play. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Imagine flipping in the air on the Super Quad Bungee, running across the Big Baller obstacle course, or conquering Brutus, the mechanical bull. Christian family-owned and operated, Mobile Inflatables specializes in school and church functions, festivals, and city fairs, offering inflatables of all shapes and sizes while being clean, safe, insured, and state inspected. Stop imagining and call 502-379-0876 or book online at mobileinflatables.com. For laughter adds to life, Mobile Inflatables.
Terry Miners here, St. X class of 75. Go Tigers! You know who else loves the Tigers? DFH Heating and Cooling. That's the Don F. Hinkebine Company. Chris, Alex, lots of the Hinkebines have been working for like 80 years taking care of people's HVAC systems. Let them come and just do regular maintenance on your HVAC system so that your heater's ready to crank this winter. Let's go Tigers, heat them up on the field, and let's go DFH. Call them at 968-6222. And they're online at dfhcompany.com.
Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. Kickoff taken by Bibb at about the 12-yard line on the right hash. He's going all the way to his bench. Gets across the 35 and tripped up right at the 40-yard line. They'll give him the 41. Good return from Ethan Bibb. Jim Brinkman, Jack Albers has been great tonight athletically, but he's been a great leader as well.
Yeah. In the year talked about, that this is Jack's team, and a lot of people, rallied behind him. He was a starter last year for the first 2 or 3 games of the year when Desmond Ritter was sitting out, but certainly, this team really rallies, and you've seen that in drives in second half against PRP, Cathedral, and now Mail.
Absolutely, good point. And Jack struggled in the first half, Tony. Had a fumble, had an interception. Cheshire with a quick throw to the right to Vestal at the 40 to the 50 and into St. X territory before he's pushed out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. It looked like Cheshire was going to go deep downfield, Tony, and he just flipped it over to Vestal.
He did.
Nice-looking play.
It really was. It was just a swing pass, but it was on the wide side of the field, and he got it out in space to him. A couple of Tigers, Eric Lyons in there coming up to make one of the plays.
Yeah, there's a lot of new Tigers in there, and Mail trying to put a crooked number on the board with under 3 to play. Tigers jump off sides there. So they give Mail a free 5. They'll move it to the 38 of St. X. It'll be 1st down and 5.
And if you're Coach Wolford, I know you could tell 14-0 at half. Disappointed in how the first half ended. Mail comes out, onside kick, gets the football. Tigers get to stop. And as well as the offense has played, well, the defense has done a super job tonight. Even if a score happens here, who cares? 27-0 Tigers, 2:55 left in this football game.
Cheshire in the shotgun, takes a snap, give it a Vessel. I think the Tigers jumped off sides again, Tony. It was the other outside linebacker this time. Tigers with some new numbers in there.
We're wrong again.
Well, they've actually got. Oh, it's a false start. Well,
we've both missed one.
Not the first time I've been wrong tonight. Probably won't be the last time. Actually, the defensive line right now is Ewells, Shugart, and Bruner. You don't see that combination very often. But I think with the injury to Ryan Dobson, Will Wolford and Bart Bruner are going to mix and match some guys in there and see what works.
Yeah, and this is 2 of the 3 guys that started because Schaefer was on the nose.
Archer and Houlihan are in at inside linebacker for the Tigers. Shepard and Skrodsky are the outside backers. 1st and 10. Rolling left is Cheshire. Wants to go deep. Throws it deep down the right side. It's incomplete. Almost intercepted. Skrodsky dropped back in coverage and just out of his reach. It was intended for Tyler Ritchie, the senior. It'll be 2nd and 10. Clock stops 2:48 to play.
And a tough pass to throw if you're Chesser. You're going to your left and you turn back and try to throw it downfield. Andrews Abagu was back in coverage, and then the linebacker dropping in there with Skrodsky, and Skrodsky almost got a pick there.
Bibb goes wide to the left. Cummings comes wide to the right. And now Ritchie in motion from left to right. Vestal in the backfield. They'll play action. Rolling left, Cheshire in trouble and dropped. Nolan Bruner again came through and hit Cam Cheshire. Ewells was on the other side as well, but that was Bruner just beating his man.
Well, Bruner, we talk about it all the time. He's got great quickness, and he got around the outside, and he was supposed to get sucked in, and he did not. And Chester looks up and goes, "Oh no!" And Nolan Bruner with the sack all the way back to the Male Bulldog 48-yard line.
It's a 9-yard loss. Brings up 3rd and 19 for Male. Shepard and Skrodsky both look like they're coming here on 3rd down. Now Shepard backs outside of Skrodsky. 3-man rush. High throw, deep left side, and incomplete. Terrific coverage. They're looking for Bibb out there.
Great.
Eric Lyons, great coverage. And who's the other one, Tony?
You're asking me?
I am.
With these numbers all the way on the other side of the field, and I don't have my binoculars with me
I want
tonight.
to give him credit.
I'm
I
looking
believe
here,
it's
John.
Preston Bicker.
Whoever the safety was there, and it is.
Preston Bicker with terrific coverage from his corner spot, and Eric Lyons with help from the safety.
And, as good a coverage as that was, Bibb almost got to that ball. He was flying down that field. And Bibb's a guy that has not hurt the Tigers tonight. And, in the article by Jason Frakes, they thought he might be the X factor tonight.
Well, they've tried that short passing game that worked for Manual for a while last week, worked for Trinity. The Tigers have adjusted to it. They have not letting them throw it short tonight. Here's Bibb on the short pass, gets away from one tackler, and the turf monster gets him as he crossed the 50 on 4th down. Tigers will take over. 1:54 to play. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
I believe that was James Shepard that made that play.
Oh, we got some new numbers. Gain of 2. 22, Todd. Gain of 2.
All season long, naming all area teams for. $15 to play.
Miles Harris gets 2 yards on first down. The junior Keegan Sullivan in the quarterback for the Tigers. He'll run the option. Not much of an option because he was getting rid of that one. Pitch it to Miles Harris. He's hit and dropped back at the 46-yard line. So a gain of 2, then a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Tigers. We are under a minute to play, 27-0. St. X with the lead. And got to give the Albers was great tonight, Tony, but you got to give defense a ton of credit.
You do, and boy, if to shut the Male Bulldogs down, both of these two teams were shut out by Trinity, which I think Tigers don't believe. I think they thought that was kind of an enigma, but boy, to shut the Bulldogs down tonight, who are averaging 36 points, is a great job by the St. X defense.
Lewis Walls and Ty Bentley in at wide receiver.
I think Miles Harris going to carry it here. What do you
think so? A good call. Harris running right, cuts outside. He's across midfield to the 45, has a first down, and he's dropped at the 42-yard line. A gain of 13 for Miles Harris. And that should be the last play of the game. 14 seconds. They'll spot it, and then we'll blow the whistle, and the teams will shake hands. Tigers win it tonight, 27-0, district championship, and they will be home for the first round and up to 4 rounds of playoffs. We'll take a break, come back with the Eye Care Institute postgame report, and hear from the head coach. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans, want to learn more
Nice
about
win.
how
St. X with a shutout tonight over the Male Bulldogs, 27-0. Tigers improved to 7-1, 3-0 in district play with Butler next week right here at St. X. And if they can take care of the Butler Bears, Tony, they'll be district champs. And well, they're going to be district champs either way because you beat Male. But you've got to get the carpet cleaner out here at St. X. You're going to need it every week because you're going to have the next hopefully 6 games here at home.
Hopefully we can ride it all the way through. And I tell you, one thing great about tonight is it builds confidence, John. Tonight had to build a ton of confidence for the Tigers, and
especially their defense.
Score from the PRP Manual game, 14-7 PRP. Manual has the ball at on their own 32-yard line with 2:59, I believe it is.
You know, it's one of those things where you never know. Everybody assumed PRP would win. Jason Frakes, I give him credit. He actually picked PRP to only win by 6 tonight. So, you know, when you pick somebody to win by 6, that means the other team's got a shot.
Okay, let's look here. They're not even going to talk, so find Jim down there and see if he's got him.
Yeah, let's go down to Jim. Go.
All right. We're here with Coach Wood. Big win. You know, you clinch the number.
It's been a able to do that. It feels great. I'm real proud of the way the defense came back and played tonight.
Yeah.
You know, the Manual game, you know, they didn't play as well as they probably could have or should have, and they came out with a purpose tonight, and to play that well against a Male team, very proud of the D, but very proud of the whole team overall. A great team win in all 3 phases, and it feels really good. You know, we're going to be home for a while as long as we keep winning, and that's a good thing.
I think the MVP could be Coach Bruner.
MVP could be a whole lot of people tonight, but certainly we do have a very fine coaching staff on the defensive side and the offensive side. It's been awesome.
Any thoughts about Butler next week?
You know, we're going to prepare for them starting tomorrow, but we're going to enjoy this one tonight.
Okay. All right, John, I'll kick it back here.
You know, he had a little more hop in his step in this interview, Tony. At halftime, it's 14-0. I guess I'm happy, but that's a happy coach right now.
It is, and
he should be.
he wanted to be here. He didn't worry about how the draw was going to come out. He wanted to be here at Brother Thomas More Stadium and Paul M. Young Field and keep your routine going through the week. The position players go out with the families and they have dinner, and then they get fed here on Friday. They come out and they're ready to go. Keeps your routine, and that routine is big. And the next 2 games are regular season games. Butler comes in here, a team that unless things go wrong, Tigers should take care of business. And Cincinnati St. X comes in the next week, which won't really mean anything besides for a win or a loss.
The only thing that game
don't even.
ever
You
means
say it all the
is
time.
don't get hurt. Don't get anybody
but
hurt.
you can't play that way. And you say it every year.
You can.
But
you can rest
the way
guys.
things look, you get to play at home, and everything looks great tonight. Tigers get their 7th victory of the year. They go to 7-1, and the Bulldogs fall to 7-2.
And the Tigers head to the locker room very happy. We'll come back with the Eye Care Institute post-game report. 27-0. St. X with the win tonight over Mail. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening.
Are we off the